Wicked is good. Nope, that's a load of bullshit. Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials stars Dylan O'Brien and is directed by Wes Ball. So guys, I experienced the first Maze Runner a couple of nights ago. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was bad either. I thought it was just right there in the middle. But that movie left us with a huge cliffhanger, and it kept me interested into seeing what the next chapter would be. And Scorch Trials picks up right where Maze Runner left off. Spoiler alert, if you have not seen the first Maze Runner, turn this off, watch that, then come back and watch this. So anyway, the Gladers, they escape the maze. They are ambushed or helped, however you want to look at it, and they are captured and taken to this compound. And when they get to this compound, they're not too sure what's going on. It seems nice. They got 3 hots and a cot. They're living large, at least compared to what they were living in. And also they discovered that they were not the only Gladers. They were not the only inhabitants of a maze. There were other tribes as well. And so every night about a dozen of these kids, they are pulled up and they seem happy, but the main character, Dylan O'Brien, he is like, this doesn't make sense. This almost seems too good to be true. What the hell's going on? And I'll just go ahead and give you guys a hint. If you see this guy in a movie, you're in deep shit. And that's what happens. They're in deep shit in the first act. They have to escape, and they enter the Scorch. And throughout the rest of the movie, they are going through all these trials and tribulations. And there's quite a few surprises along the way. And what I liked about this movie was just that. All the surprises that unfolded throughout. There are freaking zombies in this movie. That was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect that. And these zombies kind of reminded me of the ones in World War Z, maybe even a little bit of 28 Days Later. They were really cool, and they didn't overstay their welcome. And they played a big part into the overall plot of this movie, because that is what these people become if they get sick or they're bitten by said zombies. And what's also cool about this movie is not only do you not know where their story is going, but they don't know where they're going. They are pretty much in survival mode, just like they were in the first movie, but it's even worse here because they are in a desert wasteland. They don't have resources like they did in the first movie. There's no water, there's no food, there's barely any shelter, and every shelter they go to, there are freaking zombies. Also really liked Dylan O'Brien in this movie. He really held his own, and the whole movie kind of sets on his shoulders. He carries it quite well. And just on a side note, I know Dylan O'Brien was one of the frontrunners to play the new Spider-Man, and after watching these 2 Maze Runner movies, I think he would have been a great Spider-Man. And I'm just hoping that Tom Holland does a good job, because if he doesn't, then I would have really wished that Dylan O'Brien got the part. And also guys, I gotta mention the first act, I'd say the first half hour of this movie is really just balls to the wall. It is non-stop action, and it's tension filled, and it keeps you on your toes. But one thing that I found really funny is only in Hollywood movies can you travel through air vents. And it seems like every action movie, there's always some kind of air vent there, and there's always somebody crawling through one. But I've never in my life seen anybody actually travel through an air vent. And I'm sure there is a montage somewhere on YouTube of just crawling through air vents for 10 minutes. If there's not, maybe I'll make one. As far as any cons for this movie, I would say it almost overstays its welcome a little bit. It kind of felt long. It almost felt like they were trying to cram too much into one movie. Like you could have almost split this movie into 2 parts. But having said that, I really had a great time with The Scorch Trials, and I'll even go one step further and say this might be the best young adult film I have seen. And I know that's not saying much to some people. I'm not a huge fan of the young adult genre. I really don't get all the love for Hunger Games. I did like Catching Fire, but for the most part, I thought the last Hunger Games film was pretty boring. Whereas this one, The Scorch Trials, was just action-packed pretty much all the way through. And it had a really good story to boot. And for that, overall, I would give Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials a purchase worthy. And I didn't expect to give it that rating. So guys, what is your favorite young adult film? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and Humdrum out.